That's my quintessential customer. You know, Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, you live by it, but you're looking at other stuff, you know, because your clients are asking for it, and you need skilling up, and you know, how do you do this? And you think, oh my God, I'm going to have to learn ActionScript 3 in Flash. Okay? So the answer is yes. No. Despite rumours to the contrary, you can develop on Flash, go file save as iPad or iPhone. Just to clear that air, Apple came out in March of last year and said you can't use Flash on the iPhone, on iOS. And we had that advertising and all that sort of stuff. And in September they said, oh yes you can. Okay. Everyone heard that you can't, not many people heard that yes you can. Okay, so I always bring that up. Because it was the same for Microsoft, it's the same for Sun, no one could use a runtime like that. But if you've got Flash, file, save as, iOS app, you're away. So, what I want to just explain then is, what does Adobe do? What is it that is in CS 5.5? And this is both, we're talking here about EPUB and digital publishing, in particular digital publishing. And I'm going to talk about, show the EPUB settings, which also applies to making accessible PDFs, because you generate the correct setup for an EPUB, you will also generate the correct setup for an accessible PDF, a PDF that can be read by screen readers and so on. So what does Adobe do? Okay, sell software to say. No, what we actually do is we develop file formats, fundamentally. The company was built on a file format of PostScript to start with. That's too long ago, so we're going to start with PDF. So we build a file format and we give away the reader for free. This is our business model. Okay, we popularised the file format so much so now that PDF is an ISO standard. It's an open spec. Anyone can make their own PDFs. They always do. The reader's free. And our business model is that we believe that we make the best PDF creators. Okay, so you make PDFs from Acrobat, from Photoshop, from Illustrator, from Premiere, you know. So that's the PDF model. Same thing happened with Swift. We were Macromedia in those days. Just let it go, I tell my colleagues. And the Swift is not a published spec, but it's a de facto standard spec, and there's lots of it that is published, okay, the Tamarind engine and so on. So there's a lot of stuff in the Swift file format that is public. And we give away the reader for free, okay, the Flash player. It reads Swifts, it reads video, our video format, which is a de facto standard, and parts of it are open spec. And our business model is to make what we think are the best Swift creation tools. And there are lots of Swift creation tools out there, okay? But you can make Swifts out of each of these. So what we're looking at now is creating a new file format. It's an XML-based file format, and it's called a folio file. Okay? It's an XML schema, and that folio file can contain all these other files, JPEGs, videos, Swifts. HTML itself can be contained in the folio file. And we give away the viewer for free. Okay? So the viewer for these folio files on the iPad, you would go to iTunes and you would get the viewer. That's the viewer there. Okay? We have one for the Mac, we have one for Windows, we have one for Android, we have one for BlackBerry Playbook, we have one we were going to have one for WebOS, but don't have to worry about that. But that's the viewer, that's the free viewer, that's the Acrobat reader or the Flash player of the folio file. Okay? So, and you can get it from iTunes today, you can get it from the Android market, and it's for free, it's just been updated. Anyone using the DPS stuff? Excellent. Otherwise, I'll bore you to tears. If you've got an iPad, anyone got an iPad? Okay, right. If you know someone who has an iPad and you want to publish stuff for them, okay, coming soon to the iPhone, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but I just did. I can show it to you on the only Android device I have, which is my phone. It's a bit pointless reading a magazine on a phone. It's designed obviously, there you go, and do this. It's designed obviously there's the content viewer there, for Android device. Obviously if it was a tablet, it'd make more sense, but that's fine. Okay, so let's just go back here. Right. So we give away the reader for free. And then our business model is to make what we think is the best folio creation tool. Now eventually the plan is to open up the folio file format, but we can't today because it changes every 30 days. Maybe 6 days, I'm not lying to you. We create what we think is the best folio creation tool, which is InDesign. Now this, normally our cycle of development is 2 years, okay, with these 0.5 releases every 1 year-ish, okay. So people say to me, how long till the next version? I go 18 months to 2 years. 2 years-ish these days, okay? We release a new version of the folio every 30 to 60 days. I swear to God, it's driving me mad. But that's web time, and it is. 15th of every month, it updates. There's new features that we add to it. Okay. Imagine getting a new InDesign every 30 days. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's the underlying pro forma of it. Damn, I forgot to make that as a bill. Okay. What we're offering, our pitch to you is a digital publishing suite, which enables you to go from InDesign to your app. See, I should have edited my slides before I came out of my last meeting. There you go. See? Sorry about that. I think I'm amongst friends here, so I get it. I was pitching to an education institution. Okay, so you want to go from InDesign to an app. How do you do that? Well, you've got to go out and learn Objective-C, spend thousands of dollars, spend 6 months in a dark room, drinking Jolt Cola and all that sort of stuff. Or you could have a digital publishing suite. Digital publishing suite allows you to produce an app. Allows you to produce a folio and an app to read it, if you wish. Or an app by itself. It allows you to distribute that. Best thing about having a magazine on the iPad is when I publish it here, my subscriber in New York gets it 30 seconds later. That's the other thing the iPad has done. Desktop publishing removes the cost of production. The iPad has removed the cost of distribution. Because Apple don't charge you to send your app around the world. Okay? We will charge you 20 cents to send your folio, but I'll get onto that. We've got to make money somehow. But you want to sell it. Okay? Again, remember, people buy stuff on an iPad for 99 cents, look at it and go, that was crap. They don't care. And they'll do that 5 times a month. You know? $5 out of every single person. You can't tell me that, fart apps are worth 99 cents. Angry Birds. I mean, let's face it, Fireman, the guys in Manly in Sydney, I think Electronic Arts bought them for $200 million, and they're money to be made out of here. Okay, but there's no point just throwing stuff out there because you want to know what happens to it. And we bought a company called Omniture, and it just means that Apple knows where every one of these are. Actually, not anymore because they've just pulled out the UDID, but you can tell where people are in these. Okay, so it's great. So in Moscow, I can give them something different. To Tokyo, I can give them something different to New York. Okay, so that's what I'm here to talk to you about. But I'm not talking to Flash developers. I'm not talking to coders. I'm talking to InDesign users. Okay, because it's going to be InDesign users that are going to take over the world, despite what those guys tell you. Okay, because InDesign users already have most of the skills required to publish magazines on an iPad app, or any sort of documentation on an iPad app, even apps on an iPad that are mostly textual based. And if you want to, you can make it an app. Probably can't build Angry Birds with it, but you get it. Because you know about good layout. You know what makes good type. You know what makes good colour and how to use space. If you close your eyes now and I said, imagine a headline in red, 72-point Trump medieval at the top of the page, okay, you go, fine, I can visualise that. Versus something that's 12-point Berthold script, let's make it Comic Sans, down the bottom of the page. I always get a laugh with Comic Sans, okay? They mean something. And coders, that doesn't mean anything to coders, okay? It doesn't mean anything to Flash developers. It means a lot when you're trying to design something to be read on an iPad app. All you need to add is interactivity. When does something happen? If I click on this and some text comes out, what does that add to the meaning? If I click on this and it disappears, what does it add to the meaning? And time. If that Trump medieval red 72-point headline races on screen really quickly, that means something different than if it just slowly fades up. So these are just things to add to your design armory that the coders already have. They just don't have the other 4. Okay? So this is my pitch to you.